Okay, guys, I'm making this a 5-minute video, or maybe a few more minutes than that, but I'm not going to make this a long video. I just want to tell you that I've been studying astrology now for quite a number of years, and it's been one of the tools that's helped me to evolve in my own consciousness and to understand myself better. If we go back to the beginning of time, you imagine you were plonked on Earth, maybe, I don't know how long we've been on Earth as human beings, but however long we have been, there would have been no distractions. There would have been the earth, and there would have been above us the stars and the sun and the moon. And then we would have been hunting for food and gathering. And it would have been very simplistic. I was listening to a book earlier, and something came to mind, audible. I was listening to a book, and something came to mind that astrology is a tool to unravel within and to learn to use the subconscious consciously. So I'm showing you my chart at the moment, and then I'm going to quote you something by Carl Jung, who was born in 1875. He was born on the 26th of July, and he, in his lifetime, was friends with Freud, and they had a falling out because they had very differing ideas when Jung wrote a book called Memories, Dreams, and Reflections. That sort of broke them up. But Carl Jung used astrology as part of his practice in understanding symbols and the archetypes and the planets. And, you know, a planet, if you can see now, my pointer, I'm pointing to Venus. And, you know, that's archetypal, and it's also a meaning. The houses, you can see 1, 2, all the way through to 12. What we have here is this is basically how things happen in the house. Is an area of life. That's my point. The house is an area of life. The first house is self. The second house is values and needs. Third house is communication. I'm keeping it light here. Fourth house is home. Egocentric. It's our needs. You know, childhood needs. The fifth house is joy, fun, and creativity. The sixth house is to do with work and routines and such like, and health. The seventh house is to do with our relationships, our interactions with others. Doesn't have to be like, you know, intimate relationships, but, you know, partnerships, work, all sorts. Eighth house is to do with birth, death, and transformation, and a lot more as well. But I'm giving you a simple example. The ninth house is to do with higher education, overseas travel, spirituality, and religion and truth. The 10th house is the public image. It's also patriarchy and its rules, and again, a lot more. The 11th house is to do with groups and our hopes and our dreams. And the 12th house is the final culmination of the entire chart. And the 12th house is beyond this realm, like, you know, our dream time as well, and sleep time, and prisons, libraries, and institutions and things. So when you have a chart on the inside of this wheel, this is a snapshot of the heavens at birth, at my birth, and it's going to be different for everybody. My rising sign is 27 and 8 of degrees of Scorpio, and I know that because of the time I was born. The rising sign changes every 2 hours. The moon takes 28 days around a chart. The sun takes a year. The sun is currently in Leo. See the symbol there? The sun is in Leo. My natal sun is in Gemini. See the symbol there? Gemini. So when it was my birthday on the 21st of May, the sun was directly conjunct. This is called a conjunction, when a planet's on top of another planet. At the moment, I have Mars in a conjunction with my Venus, and every aspect means something. Aspects are the degrees between planets on the natal chart, and also on the outside of the wheel as well. It all links in together. And I could say a lot more, but what I wanted to say was I wanted to show you something in a minute. This is my Venus, and it's been in the sign of Gemini for me. The Venus takes 224 days, I believe, to move around the chart. Mercury is the speediest. Apart from the moon, Mercury takes 88 days around the chart. Pluto takes 245 years to go around a chart. Every planet's going at its own speed. So what I'm going to read you is something from Jung, which he said, which links into the first statement I made, which is, Here it is. The psychological rule says that when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as fate. That is to say, when the individual remains undivided and does not become conscious of these inner contradictions, the world must perforce act out the conflict and be torn into opposite halves. So the purpose of astrology is that it brings us to being conscious, and it brings awareness in. It's a form of psychology. It would have been one of the earliest tools of psychology that we know of. We all know what the moon is. We all see the moon. We've all experienced the moon. We've all experienced the sun. And, then we can go as far as saying, the son of Christ, that we can say as an archetype, Christ consciousness, the sun. So everything is a symbol. Everything holds symbols for us. Even the type of car somebody wants to drive or the handbag somebody wants, it's a symbol to us individuals, where we live, how we live, what we think, what we believe. This is reality. We live in symbols. So the archetypes are really important in the work, part of the work of Carl Jung, and they tie in with astrology. And I don't feel that enough is understood currently about astrology, but it's becoming more popular. Nostradamus wrote a book in 1555 that's never been out of print on astrology. A lot of people think that he was just somebody who predicted things, but he was not. He was a French astrologer. So what else can I tell you? This is it. I'm going to show you my Venus here. Watch this move. So I can emanate this chart. This is part of the work I do. Hopefully it moves. Let's see. Yes. Hopefully it's recording and moving at the same time. You see it's at 0 degrees there, Cancer. My 8th house starts at 3 degrees. So watch it move. 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, 4 degrees. Should know better, 4 degrees. So when it goes into this sign, it's going to stay in this sign and move through until the 17th of September. And I know that because if you watch Venus and you watch it moving, you can see the moon is moving around at high speed. So 17, you can see that Venus is moving, and we keep going, and it will go into Leo, but there you go. 11, and then on the 17th of September, it's going to leave my 8th house and it'll go into my 9th house. Now, if I can stop share and show you this, this is what's beautiful about this. So Venus in my 8th house, you can see here, Venus in my 8th house. This is called, if you want to get your own chart, the one I just showed you is called Solar Fire. This is what a lot of astrologers use that I was just using, but this you can get yourself. What you can do is that you go to astro.com, you put in your time, date, place of birth. Time is really important in astrology. If you're going to struggle with finding that or don't quite get it and you need a hand, then I do recharts. That's part of my work to help people understand themselves. That's what I do, and to evolve any trauma and backlog that we, or just to know our path, which we can understand through the northern node. So it says here that I'm going to have Venus in my 8th house, Venus in my 8th house. And basically we've got the valid, it's going to be valid during several weeks. And this influence can have several effects and often quite subtle. It can stimulate the sexual side of existing relationships and give love relationships a greater intensity. This is because sex goes beyond the physical act and becomes a vehicle for self-transformation and inward change. A love relationship that begins under this influence will be intense throughout its duration and will have greater impact, for better or worse, on your life than other relationships. And this influence may attract money to you through a partner, your business, or through a bank or other public financial institutions without any special effort on your part. So, we've got to read deeper into this because the chart is just not, I'll just show you. Let's go to this. So here's my chart in a different format. I just showed you solar fire, and Venus is here. You see, Venus is just here on the chart where my mouse is. So if you want to help with this and you want to explore, I'm here to help. And that's it for now. I'm going to leave it there. Catch you later.